Hello and welcome to making a painting from your image. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with our original image here. And we're going to fix just a few little things that we would normally fix. I'm not going to worry too much about getting all the stray hairs and everything fixed out here. That's what annoys me. What we'll do is when we go to the painting mode, that will all be taken care of. So there's really no point in spending a lot of time going in, getting a perfect complexion or getting stray hairs all cleaned up. When we go into the painting mode, that will all be taken care of. So what we're going to do is we're going to fix a few little things to begin with to get it ready for that phrase. Now I'm going to go to my lasso tool. What we have here is we've got the pinky sticking up a little bit too much. If we were to put that down, it would look a whole lot better. So using the lasso tool, I'm going to go in, I'm going to lasso that. I'm going to Control C copy, Control V paste, bring it over. It's on its new layer now. So we're going to go to Control T to transform, and what we're going to do is we're going to rotate pinky down a little bit. Hit enter to lock it in. So we're going to put it in the new position. Now what we have now is the old pinky sitting there looking at us. So we're going to go back to our background. And with the lasso tool again, we're going to lasso that section right above it on the finger. Control C, Control V to copy and paste. We're going to move it down. Now it's located below the pinky, so I don't have to worry about masking it out because I did a pretty decent job there with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the knuckle lines up. Then we're going to go create a layer mask. That's the square with a circle in it. Then go to our brush tool, B. Make sure that we're on brush tool, no other type of brush tool. Opacity around 30, black will paint out. So we're just going to go and click, move around there and blend that into that one. We're going to select our pinky. Come over here, do the same thing. And now we got a hand with a pinky down close to it. So what we can do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to actually duplicate my original layer, and we're going to go ahead and Shift Control E to merge visible, so we can then turn that off and on. You can see, boop, boop, move the pinky down. Okay, another thing that when I shot this, we had this fabric sticking up. Now, if you look at the overall image, it'd be a much nicer presentation if we continue this line down. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, fix that. So what we do is we grab our lasso tool again, and we're going to grab an area, Control C, Control V to copy paste, move that down. And if you right click, you're going to pull up your options, and we're going to go ahead and flip this one horizontal. That way we can pull in about where it should be here. And hit enter to lock that in. We're going to turn that off for the moment. This goes a little bit over onto the arm also. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here and we're going to lasso more than enough arm. If you hold the shift key down, you can add that little section in there. We're going to go back to our background copy. Control C, Control V to copy and paste. We're going to move that down. There we go. And we're going to add a layer mask onto that. Go to our brush tool. Brush tool right over here. And we're going to take our opacity up to 100%. We're still at black, and that way we can come in here and paint out the bulk of what we don't need. And then we're going to hit X. We're going to go to white, and white will paint in. So we come in here, we paint in. We're going to go X to back to black, and we're going to take our opacity down to around 30% again. If you hold the shift, the space bar down, you get the little hand tool so you can move. And what we're going to do is we're going to blend in the arm a little bit. Now what we can do is we can move the layer down, turn it back on. Now you can see that it overlaps a little bit, and it's fine to me if this is going to not do a full swoop down to meet there, but it's going to come down, swoop, go under the arm, and what that will give us, it'll give us a little break, which would be a nice effect right there. We're going to go make a layer mask for that, black, up to 100%. Paint out where we don't want it. And then go back into X and paint in where we do. So we're going to follow that. Now if you notice, I'm not even attempting to make that look realistic. We're going to do that in the next step. I'm going to come in over here, paint out, paint back in, go down to 30%, and paint out to blend in smoother transition. So there we go. So we got a nice smoother transition. So what we can do, turn that one off again, Shift Control E to merge visible. And then we can turn that one on and off and see the changes that we've made. I'm going to come in here with our healing brush, fix that just a little bit. Now one of the things that you can not worry about is being super realistic. It's a painting style that we're going to be going for. And since it is a painting style, we are allowed to do whatever painters would naturally do. And to that extent, what we're going to do is we're going to fix the little angle to make it look a little bit nicer. Painters do this all the time. So we're going to do this with the liquify tool. So whenever you're using the liquify tool, lasso bigger than you're going to actually be liquefying. Because if you try to do it to the whole image, it's a memory hog. It's just going to slow your machine down. So come up to filter, liquefy. Wait for it to liquefy. Pulled up into the liquefy. Now the trick to liquefaction is do not get greedy. Don't try and do it all boom in one big motion. Make it a series of little steps. Now if you use the bracket keys, you can make your liquefy brush bigger and smaller. So we're going to go with a brush that's roughly the diameter of the area that we want to move in. What we're going to do is we're just going to bring this in a little bit. And you see I'm doing a little bit of move, going down, grabbing the other one. We're going to bring this up a little bit, more of a straight line. And then I'm going to go in with a smaller brush and I'm going to fine tune. If you notice, I'm doing very small clicks, very subtle movements, and I'm moving up and down the area so that I can gently nudge everything into place. I'm not going to be greedy and try and do it all at once. When you do it all at once, you distort too much and you get these indents that you can go back and fix, but it's going to take a lot longer than if you were to be a little more patient. When you get it all looking good, we're going to hit OK. Boom. And then we're going to go down. We're going to make the arm a little bit straighter. Whenever you push anything up, you're holding the fabric in there, arm spreads out. That's just the way people are designed. So we're going to make it a little more aesthetically pleasing. So we're going to go in, again with a big brush, and just move the arm to be straight. Say OK. Boom. Control D to delete our selection. We can look at changes that we've made. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and Control J, make another copy of that one. And the next step is to build a foundation for the painting effect. So for that, we're going to go to Filter, Blur, and all the way down at the bottom, Surface Blur. Surface Blur stops at hard lines. So it won't go into the eyes, it won't go into the hair, it won't go into your background or blur the color of the face into the background. And there are no magic numbers. What I will tell you is the numbers are usually pretty close to each other, is what I have found for my personal taste. But if you take it up really high, not that high, so it's just roughly the same, you can see the effect. Don't be afraid to just start plugging numbers in and see what happens. Until you commit to it, you're pretty safe. And if you really don't like it, well, you can just start over, go to the history, and pick a point where it looks much better than before. Now for this one looks pretty good. We're going to go just a little bit less. There we go. We're looking to get all these skin tones smoothed out and evened. So when we do that, we're going to hit OK. Now since Surface Blur does stop at hard lines, if it comes to a hard texture, which usually you'll find on the forehead, cheeks, or on the ridge of the nose, you're going to get these little areas where it's a little rough. And usually it's right in an area where the light makes a change. So we're going to still be using our lasso tool. We're going to come in here, we're going to lasso that, and we're going to go up to Filter. And instead of Surface Blur, we're going to go with the Gaussian blur. Now here it's really high. You can see in the window it has a hard line. You want to blur it just enough so that it gets rid of that, but not so much that it gives you a hard line from where you outlined. So we're going to go right there. We're going to come up here, grab this one, hit Control Alt F to apply the same filter from the last time you used it. Control Alt F. And you just want to go in and get these little areas where it's a little rough still. There we go. I'm going to get this arm right down here, right where the highlight and shadow change. Boom. Hit it one more time. There we go. Pixels were selected. You're right, there weren't. Okay, so I did not get this area right in here, you notice. And the reason I'm going to do that is I want to keep that ridge of the nose more straight line. So we're going to come over, we're going to grab our blur tool. Unfortunately, there is no shortcut key to it. Strength up high, and I'm going to click and go back and forth along the line of it. So I'm not going to blur those colors together, but I'm going to soften that. I'm going to do the same thing up here, right around the eyes, with the eyelids. And along the ear, I'm going to get it right along the edges here. Because in paintings there are no hard lines. So go ahead and take these out. I didn't blur these out because I don't want the color going into the background. I do want a soft edge on them. So I'm just going to go around here, soften these edges up a little bit. And when I go into the painting mode and start painting in everything else, it's going to be a little bit nicer. This is just getting me a foundation to start working on. So this is the prep work for getting ready to start using the mixer brushes. In the next video, we're going to go over how to use the mixer brushes and what you can get for them. So join us next video, click on over and continue learning.